Well, I presume I started the video. I'm not sure because the camera is facing away from me. I mean, it's facing toward me, but I can't see whether my finger hit the button. I got 2 pens today that I have been asked to repair them for the owner, and the plea is to take care of my babies. I'll tear up here if I don't put on my cold, crusty pen repairman appearance. Just a second. Arr! Okay, back. So I have to fix a couple of goddamn pens. How about that? And as you can see, I've donned my surgical garb and I've washed my hands. And now I'm ready to do the surgery. And there are the pens. So the first thing one does is to very carefully undo the cap. That you don't have to be careful about that, but you always are. You have to pull this out of the barrel. And 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, these are not quite 99 out of 100, but 82 out of 100. They're slip friction fit things rather than threaded. So they come out with just that amount of pressure. Well, in this case, that amount of pressure. So one is down. Set that there. The other one. Being able to do this takes years and years and years of practice. And sometimes you are good at it, and sometimes you find that someone glued them together when they're not supposed to, and things get broken. So the first thing one does is now scrape off any excess sack from or glue or shellac from what is called the sack nipple. Yeah, and I know all you Beavis and Buttheads out there are tittering, and just go back to your other games here. This is serious work. This is serious. Then you take the nipple and put it into your mouth. Don't start with me, Beavis. Blow through it. Yes, there is air passage going through. And there are some people who would take the nib out, take the feed out, get the little toothbrush, do everything they want to do to clear out any molecule of old stuff. But I don't do that. Okay, now I'm using this tool to get in here and grab what's left over of the sack. And sometimes sacks come out and they're all they turn to crumbly dust. And sometimes, like this one, they come out and they're sort of like things you pick out of your nose. They're really boogery. They're very sticky, and no matter how hard you try to flick them off into the bleachers below at the football game, you can't. They're stuck on your finger, and then then they're on your hot dog, and then you exit it. You forget about them because someone does a home run or whatever they do in baseball, and you end up eating it, and it's the life cycle all over again. Aha. No. Sometimes I think I'm getting it, and sometimes I don't. And when they're sticky like this, sometimes it's a long. See, there's the end of it. If this was an airplane crash, we could take all of these parts and assemble a real sack. But thankfully it isn't. No one was hurt. There's another big chunk. Why some rubber turns gritty and hard and crusty and turns to dust, and why other ones turn to rubberized snot, I don't know. I imagine someone has done the study in New England Journal of Medicine or New England Journal of Pen Repair, wherever this study would happen, and has done the math and figured out it's because it had ink that was this kind of ink, and that reacted with the rubber sac, and then it was stored in heat, and therefore it didn't work. Now in the sac, in any case, you sometimes don't know what the problem is, because it may seem to halfway, you blow through the pen and you don't have air going through, so you think that the pen is not, the sac is fine, but the sac could be this, yucky, and it won't let air through because it's just yucky. It's turned into rubberized boogers. So I'm looking through now to the barrel, the inside the barrel, and I see that it is not. There's no more sac in there, but I'm gonna just double check if I can. No, I think there's still some sac in there. I thought I may have to replace the pressure bars, but I don't have to do that. Yeah, there's still some sac in there. So let's just let that sit, and we'll try seeing what this one is like on the inside. First of all, take all of it from here. I'm not showing you what I'm doing here. That's not very helpful, is it? Blow through it, it's fine. I'll probably also soak the nib feed in section. God, this is the same problem with this ink. This is really boogery. Makes me think you're using, I don't know, I'll have to find out what ink you're using, because that might be one of the problems. Okay, I think I got all of this out, but look at how nasty this is. See? That's what happens at the... Just nasty. Okay. And this pressure bar, how does this pressure bar seem? It seems fine. It has a spring to it. There's still some sac in here, though. This is really sticky sacs, and I may need to do a little bit more cleaning than I thought I'd have to do on this video. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pretend that it's all clean and that I put sacs on the pen, because I just want to see how nicely these nibs write. Everything will be fine. Lucky owner of these two pens. This is a Parlette, and when I got the email about these, I thought that it was Parquet. It was misspelled or auto-corrected by Google. Both pens are really quite nice. This is a Miller, and my fingers are sticky. So let's just dip them and see what they're like. And then I will clean out the sticky sack from the inside and everything will be fine. I'm dipping this in. Wow, this is really soft. Okay, ink. I have gallons of ink on my desk, but of course none of them are right here. This is a really nice, soft, flowy nib, and would be, oh, it's a Charles H. Ingersoll nib. Ingersoll nibs were almost all very flexible like this, because they were on their dollar pens they would sell for $1, and the pen itself was almost nothing. This is not an Ingersoll pen, but the nibs were gold, but they were not a very big piece of gold. The whole nib is very thin, so they're almost always very flexible, and they're a little tiny bit fragile. I would be careful when I was drawing with this, because they don't have the early warning system. They don't. There's, when you use when I use a pen, a flexible nib pen, there's some feedback I get from the nib saying, okay, enough is enough. Don't do any more. It hurts. Like this one. This one is telling me, but this one doesn't. This one doesn't say that. There's just a little extra bit of resistance that this one starts to want to get. Maybe this is all in my brain. I should just, take this camera and mirror and razor blade and open my brain up to see if it actually works. But both of these pens are quite beautiful. They both have really nice nibs, so you're very lucky to have them, and I will continue to clean them up and get them working for you and send them back. I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow. It may not be till Monday, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for sending them, and I'm very glad I can fix them. I was afraid when you said that they were, one needed a new sack, you said, and the other one was, I think, clogged. They both seemed to work fine without me changing any of the nib and feed orientation. They just needed new sacks, because they both were, they turned into rubberized snot, and that's not good. Bump, bump. Bye. Bye. They're very nice. They're very happy here.